Black homegirls are talking about our relationship status, and all of us are all of us are single, for sure. Why is this the commonality with me and all my Black girls? Like, faithfully, not just this group of Black girls, but like so many.
So yes, one of my fans sent me this, and I wanted to watch it because it's such a huge topic for me right now. Just learning and understanding the same thing, why so many Black women are single. So I know, Miss Regina, I know you are not a Black woman, but you know, if you know any Black women, I wonder if they're single. I know a lot of single Black women. I also know a lot of married Black women. So it's, for me, it's a kind of a toss up. But yeah, I'm gonna finish watching this. I'm gonna watch bits and pieces of this. Oh, I don't know. I thought this was longer, so it's only 15 minutes. Good. So, yeah. Again, like I said, I'm just posting more just to. Oh, you're so sweet. Yeah, I'm just doing my. Thank you, Miss Regina. Doing my best to post more, tell a little bit more about my story, be a little bit more open about what God is doing for me, and just sharing the wisdom that the Lord gave me over the years being a married woman, what I learned the little time that I was a single woman. And like I've learned, you can be married and still have a single mindset. So yeah, so we're gonna talk more about that. But I'm gonna finish watching this other YouTuber. This is, what is the name of this channel? Beast Mode Smooth Reacts. So yeah, that's a good topic. So let's see what he's talking about.
All right, guys, gotta talk about this interesting story from this modern woman. Okay, she's gonna be claiming that, hey, for a Black woman that's successful, it is extremely difficult for her to get married, to date, and to find a partner. Okay, so let's go to roll the clip. Let's take a look.
I've talked a lot about this before, and people didn't like it too much, like men in particular. But I do think it is a lot harder to date as a woman high earner, and especially as a Black woman high earner. And there's a couple of reasons why I think that is the case, but generally speaking, it is harder to date. And in my experience, one thing that I have noticed is that men, when they like come into your sphere, especially if you're someone who's not necessarily like withdrawn or or like quiet per se, right? Like you have opinions and they don't like that.
It's not the fact that you have an opinion. That's not the issue. Okay, for the most part, men don't mind you having an opinion. It's the fact that, are you annoying? Right? Are you annoying to the point where I can't stand you? And you're just a nuisance, really, right? Are you throwing your degree and diploma in my face? Do you have your self-entitled attitude, stinking up the place, right? What is your attitude saying? That's what I'm more curious about, not necessarily you providing your feedback. It's not a dictatorship. It's not, right? It's about, as a leader, as a man, it's also about being a great listener as well. Okay, listening to your partner or your significant other, and kind of going from there. But if you're just straight up annoying and I can't stand your attitude, yeah, that's going to be a problem, right? That, or maybe you're just talking to the wrong guy. But 9 out of 10 times, the attitude is a problem when it comes to these types of model women. But let's keep going.
They just want you to like shut up and be quiet and just be behind them, and that's not me. But also like others of them, they're just jealous.
So women don't realize that how they talk to a man is going to determine his affection for her. And if he feels disrespected and emasculated, especially if you're dealing with masculine men who are confident in themselves as men, you're going to bump heads if you're going out of your way to try to prove to him that you're smarter than him, that you know better than him. And it shouldn't be I know more than you competition. It should be we should be going back and forth as partners, you giving your feedback, me giving my feedback. We both know a little something. We both know, and there's some things that one is going to be stronger in than the other. But I think this is where a lot of relationships fail, that because especially when you're dealing with one person feeling like they're more successful, more educated than the other, instead of saying, you know what, you're smart too in ways. Tell me what your thoughts are about this. And if people are honest with themselves, if you're honest with yourself, you're confident enough to say, you know what, I'm not really sure about this. Let's do some more research before making a decision. I'll do some research and then tell my thoughts based on the research I've done. But most people ain't doing that. Most people want to just argue, and because you hurt my feelings, I want to hurt your feelings. We in the 5th grade. So, but like she said, men just want you to be quiet. And I don't think it's just they want you to be quiet. I think they just want you to respond in a way that's effective for the whole team, instead of just being emotional and responding in defense mode because you don't like what he said, how what he said made you feel. I forgot to turn my ringer off. So, yeah, I think women mistake, and then I'm not going to say all men. Excuse me. Forgive me. Not all men are that way. There are men who are controlling, and no matter how much wisdom and feedback you have to put into the situation, they don't want to hear what you have to say. I'm not talking about those men. I'm talking about men who are reasonable and respect you as an adult, as a woman, that respect your thoughts as a woman, but still, as long as they're speaking to you respectfully, you should be able to reciprocate that. Most, I don't, from what I hear from people I speak to, women I speak to, I don't usually hear that the man is speaking to them aggressively. I mostly hear women just don't like how he said something, or how he said something, or what he said, and attack. That's just what I'm hearing from women. But if you have a man that he does his best to address you respectfully, in a respectful tone, and you feel safe around him, especially if you feel safe enough to be raw up in arms at him like you crazy, he must be a gentle, quiet guy. He must not be as aggressive as the other men, because any man that you think is going to punch you in the face, you're not going to come at him crazy. So if you got a man that's at least respectful enough to address you in a reasonable, respectful tone, you should be able to reciprocate that. But she could say, show whatever, present however online, but we don't know how she is in these relationships. And a lot of these women try to, perceive like they sold whatever. But soon as you get them in a house with you, just like I did that Princella episode, how she said these women be abusive. And they talk about, how homosexual relationships, lesbian relationships are more abusive. It's because the female is going from where she whooping on dudes, and she's taking that same abusive behavior to a lesbian relationship. And that's what's happening. A lot of these women angry and aggressive. We worry about the man. Oh no, honey. Okay. It'd be a lot of these women. So let's let her finish. Especially don't let the woman think she got a little bit of bread and she thinks she's smarter than him. She's vicious a lot of times. Not all the time. These, case by case, right? But still be understanding, like, yeah, let's tell the truth now.
Jealous. And obviously it's not like they're saying to you, oh, I'm jealous, but you can see that they're jealous because they'll make like snide comments, or they'll be like, or like little things along those lines. Or some of them, I wouldn't attribute this one to jealousy, but just more so like they want to be kept. They'll say like, you're the one with all the money, and sometimes jokingly we're just like, okay, but that's not a funny joke if I don't know you. So I will say, like, for those reasons, it is a lot harder. But also another reason it's harder in general, I think, is because once you are making above a certain amount, you usually have a certain kind of lifestyle. And if you want to maintain that lifestyle, but also include your significant other in that lifestyle, they do have to be making within that range, right? I'm not saying that I will only date someone who makes more than me. That's absolutely not the case. But you do need to be probably making, like low to mid six figures, somewhere like 200 or higher.
She's talking about $200,000 or more, $250,000, right? You start to add the filters. He can't be married, of course. He can't be in a relationship. He has to be probably 6 feet. or taller. He can't be gay. He can't be overweight, right? You start to strip away the men that are available, and it's less than 1% of the population. I'm just saying. These modern women gravitate towards the money instantaneously. They don't talk about a man's character. They don't talk about his moral compass. They don't talk about, would he be a good father? Would he be a good husband? Right? They don't talk about any of these things initially, primarily. They don't talk about that. Okay. They talk about the money.
In order for us to have the lifestyle that I envision myself living, and mind you, I'm still working towards the lifestyle that I want to be living. But if I like to take vacations and I like to buy, diversify my investments and do all these different kinds of things, you need to be able to do that too, right? Like, I'm not here just funding your lifestyle. We need to be able to do this together. And so naturally, you have to have some sort of, cushion on your own before you come into my sphere, before we can even really get along or be in the same like tax bracket. But again, I wouldn't say like he has to make more than me, but he does need to make close to it or somewhere that would allow him.
Mackie said, at some point, we're going to have to admit that we need many more Black men with the credentials, income, and careers